Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream and welcome back to another day in Destiny 2 for some more Destiny 2 news and Season of the Drifter intel. Season of the Drifter has finally arrived, guys. We got the new ViDoc and it really goes into a lot of fun stuff that is going to drive us for the next month or two. But the thing that I really want to talk about today is the THORN, which you can see displayed in the clip behind me. This one specific clip really was very telling because it really goes into the changes we should expect in the THORN coming in Season of the Drifter, or more importantly in year 2 moving forward. So for some of you, you might remember how the THORN worked in D1. It was a damage over time primary hand cannon. It was the only damage over time weapon, I believe, in Destiny 2. There might have been one other, but this was a very unique weapon. It was a very unique weapon to shooters in general, but very unique to Destiny as well within the game. So it worked as a way of shooting an enemy and then slowly decaying their health. Now there is some weapons in D2 that do this, but nothing really did it the way THORN did. This gun was just so powerful when it was at its peak. You had a 7 damage, I think it was a 7 DPS over time, over maybe like, I think it was maybe 15 seconds. And when you got it with a couple of headshots, it was really like a 2-shot weapon, especially if you comboed it with the last round in the gun, which gave you a bonus damage. So you could really 2-shot people. You just 2-shot people and leave. So we've all been curious how the THORN is going to change because obviously we couldn't really go back to that. It had its ups and its downs, but mostly people that couldn't get it were just annoyed by it. The people who had it loved it, but if you didn't, it was a problem. And there really was never anything, no matter how far down the line we went, that could really combo it in straight up Crucible. Obviously they didn't bring it forward in the level cap later in D1, but it returning in D2, how are they going to manage these things that really annoyed people in the past? We don't know anything about the quest progression yet, so that might be a barrier of entry right there. However, based on what I have seen in the ViDoc, there is a major change to the way this gun will actually function. It is no longer going to be a general dot. Based on this clip, which I keep showing you, and this still image that you can see in front of you, the way that the THORN is actually going to work is once, or at least the way it seems it is going to work, is once you've hit a headshot, no longer will the shots continue to damage that specific enemy. I don't know if this will work with a body shot, although they only displayed headshots in this clip. However, when the person using the THORN in this clip, when the Guardian actually did get a headshot, it released a damage over time void, sort of like the Warlock Void Grenade, or the Solar Grenade too, actually. So this seems to be the new function of the gun. Once you kill the enemy, it creates a lasting void damage bubble. That's what you can see. The two lights that you see in front of you, those are being generated by the dying hive that this Guardian was actually killing when he was using the THORN. So now I don't know if this is going to be a really effective weapon in PvP like the THORN was. The THORN was a dominant weapon in PvP when it was at its height, or at any time in D1. But it does seem like it'll be a very, very highly effective weapon in PvE. Now that's not to say that it won't be a PvP gun. I'm sure people will figure out ways to utilize this, and the way that this function actually works might be slightly different than the way I'm describing. Although that does seem to be the primary function. How this dot will work, the range of these bubbles, and how long they last, I think will really tell you how effective this gun is going to be in PvP. Although I can, right off the top of my head, think that this sort of weapon used in a control match or in Iron Banner, where there's a lot of people clumped around one specific point at given times over the match, being is that you have to actually capture things, this could be effective. A couple of shots triggers a damage over time bubble, and everybody has to just sit in it. I know that that's one of my favorite things to do in all control matches, is just throw a fusion grenade, or not a fusion grenade, any sort of big bubble grenade on a flag, on a capture point, and you can always usually get at least one, sometimes two. I've had up to 5 kills with one grenade. So hopefully you found this information helpful. I'm going to keep the video short. I found this to be super interesting, one of the most telling parts of the ViDoc, in my opinion. If you haven't seen the Bungie ViDoc, I suggest you go and see it. I'll link it in the description box below this video. Thank you guys, as always, so much for watching. If you enjoyed this information, please remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on the notifications, the bell right next to the big red subscribe button, like the video, and follow me on Twitter. There'll be a link in the description box below, as well as the Destiny ViDoc. And if you leave a comment in the comment section, guys, I will enter you into the giveaway that I'm doing at 7,500 subscribers. I'm doing a Destiny 2 U2 Seasonal Pass, so don't be afraid and don't miss out on that. And as always, guys, I am Wilhelm Scream. We will see you in the next video. Later!